Wow, does it feel nice out this morning. It has been extremely hot the last couple of days here in Wisconsin, at least in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's been absolutely nuts. I think we had a heat index of like 102 or 103 like 2 days ago. So things have been extremely hot, and this is like the first morning that it's not super humid. Obviously, we're still messing with some humidity. We have some fog this morning, but it feels good. We have a little bit of a light breeze coming off the lake, and it's just, it feels good this morning. It's not super hot, it's not sticky, and it feels fishy. But welcome back to another one. Today we are going to be venturing out back onto Green Bay to chase after some walleyes once again. We are at a spot that I absolutely love to fish, and I actually have not been up this way yet this year. So I'm super excited to get out there today and see what we can do out on the water. I'm going to be fishing with my good buddy Ted again in today's video. I actually have a salmon trip later today, but wanted to get out early this morning to hopefully put together a nice walleye video for you guys. We're going to be casting around some search baits from Acme, which is one of my favorite presentations. Forward-facing sonar is definitely changing the game with the way that we fish, and since forward-facing sonar, this has just been one of those presentations that is quickly become one of my favorites to throw out on Green Bay, and a couple other bodies of water here too as well. So we got the boat all rigged up, nitro's ready to rock. We're gonna get it dumped in the water here. We're gonna go out, see if we can't find some fish, and hopefully have ourselves a day. Ted, you ready to go?
Yeah, but set aside the fun fishing. How do you pass that up? Look at that sunrise.
It is beautiful.
That is just cool.
Just an absolutely gorgeous morning. We're gonna get this boat dumped in and hopefully go catch some fish. Stick with us, stay tuned, hit that subscribe button down below if you are new here. Let's go rock out some fish. Look at Miller tiptoeing around all that poop. Don't step on any of that. Got one?
71 feet, quarter ounce.
Really?
Yeah.
We might be doubled up here.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, I missed him.
I got him. See the size of him?
No. Is it a good one?
I think so.
Oof! Whoa.
He's got something in him.
Not happy. There you go. There you go, Miller.
Boy, thank you.
Nice fish. Search bait does it again.
Does it again.
How's it feel to catch a fish on a search bait?
It never gets old.
The bite is here.
You know it's here. You know summer's a coming.
Oh, that fish is fired
feisty.
up.
Yes.
Nice work. We just got the first one in the boat. Almost doubled us up. But yeah, it's just gorgeous out here. I think we're gonna have a pretty good morning. It's just about 6 a.m. The fish are biting. Oh yeah, instant. Dropped right on top of it. Doesn't feel like a giant one by any means.
Huh?
No, it's a good way to start the morning though.
Pulling a lot of line for not being a giant.
Well, you gotta let them play it out a little bit, Yeah, maybe it got a little bigger.
Now it knows it's hooked.
Oh man, you can't beat the Kalen's search bait. Tungsten shows up on the Livescope real nice. I downsized to a quarter ounce, and I was able to float it right above that fish, and it just smoked it. As soon as I downsized, boom, fish. It is not happy, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that's a good fish.
Yeah.
Good fish, Cody.
Fatty, just a little fatty. The worm's off.
Chunk on that.
Beautiful way to start the morning. Not an absolute giant, but that is just a little fatty. If you guys are interested in getting out here on a guided trip, I do have some dates available. Not many though. My books are open for next year though. If you want to get on the books for next year, get out here and do this awesome bite. July and August is a really fun time to get out here and do exactly what we're going to be doing today. But we're going to go ahead and get this fish put back. There she goes. Well, that right there, perfect example of why it's good to have a couple of baits tied up. I made a couple of casts with that 3/8 ounce. Just wasn't happening. Ted back here was throwing a quarter, switched to a quarter, boom. First cast, fish. You gotta love it. It never gets old. So I still get a bunch of questions on the settings that I'm using on my Garmin up front. And I'm gonna walk you guys through it today. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go onto my unit here and I'm gonna completely put my Garmin here back to factory settings. So we'll go to restore to default. There we go. So right out of the box, this is what your Livescope unit is gonna look like. And as you can tell, it's kind of in auto mode, so it's gonna cycle back and forth from forward to down mode. But what we wanna do is go in, dial these settings, that way you guys can get out here, do some sharpshooting like we are today. So the first thing that we're gonna do, I do wanna let you guys know that I am running everything off of a GPS map. Let's go ahead, we'll dig into this. The first thing that I like to do is go into the options. I don't play around with the gain a ton on this screen. Gain is kind of something that I like to play around with right on my screen. But we're gonna go ahead and right out of the gate, I like to have that gain at like 72-ish%. And that's gonna change depending on what type of bottom that you're fishing. We'll go ahead and leave it at 72 for now. Depth range, I don't like to leave that on auto. So what I'll do is, we're fishing 20 feet of water, so I'll actually set this for about 25 or 26 right now. I'll just leave it at that. But that's something that I always adjust on the screen, just using the on-screen controls here. Going to forward range, we want to make sure this is not set to auto. I like to leave, again, it's kind of dependent on the depth of water I'm fishing. The deeper water that I'm in, the further out that I want to have that forward range. Today, since we're fishing, some deeper water, I'm getting away with being able to see fish at, that 70 to 80 foot range. So I'm gonna keep it right at 80 for now. Sonar setup, we'll go into the appearance. The first things that you're gonna see in appearance here is the color scheme. The color scheme that you're always seeing me use in most of my videos here is gonna be the amber. Again, that's just something you gotta play with. Color gain, super important, especially when we're casting, really small jigs around, or even some of these search baits. What you really want to make sure is that you're cranking that color gain up. This is going to allow you to see those jigs a little bit further out. So we have our forward mode out to 80 feet. I should be able to cast a 1/4 ounce jig 80 feet out and see that jig hit the water. And that's something that your color gain will help you do. So if we go ahead and crank this up, you can see it's just gonna make everything a little bit more fiery. You can see that bottom really starts to pop there now. And if I lower that color gain, you can see it becomes a lot more dull. But I'm gonna crank that up. A lot of times I got my color gain at like 90%, maybe even higher. Again, it depends where I'm fishing. If I'm fishing up on a bunch of rocks and some shallower water, I might have to lower that just a little bit. That way I'm not getting a bunch of bounce back from that transducer. But out here in this deeper water, I like to run that color gain a little bit higher. Moving on from color gain, we have color limit. That's just a setting that I always leave on default. Again, that's something that you can play around with. It's just gonna kind of limit the color that's on your screen. Again, I always just leave that on default. I don't mess around too much with that. Going down trails, that's just that's something that I always leave off too as well. But what trails is basically, here, I'll show you guys real quick. If you do turn that on, say we turn it on fast, basically what happens if you do cast this into the water here, it's gonna leave a trail behind your bait, or a trail behind the fish, and it's just something that I don't like. I like a lot less clutter on the screen. If you are fishing some deeper water and maybe you are struggling to see your jig, maybe that's something that you want on, just so you can see that. But again, for me, I like a lot less clutter, so I always leave trails off. Bottom fill, again, if you are having a hard time seeing the bottom,
bottom, you can turn that bottom fill on and it'll show you basically what the bottom is. I don't like having that on because I don't like missing anything that's going on the bottom, especially fish that are holding tight to the bottom. You want to be able to see that. So I like to keep that off. Again, that's a personal preference, just something that you got to play around with. Let's keep moving on here. Layout. Grid overlay. So as you can see right now, there's a grid overlay on this. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like clutter. I always get rid of that right away. Scroll history, you can populate that. It's basically just going to give you a down image of what you're seeing or what you're going over. Obviously, I want more Livescope screen. I don't want, you know, any split screen or anything like that, or any space that's going to take away from my Livescope screen. So I keep that off. On-screen controls, I show those. That way I can adjust my gain and stuff like that all on screen. Reverse range, I always just leave that on default, but that's something that you can play around with too as well. If you want less reverse range, you can set that to minimum. I typically leave it on default or minimum, just because then you're getting more screen clarity or more screen out of the 12-inch screen that you have, or 10-inch, whatever screen you got. So if you go full, obviously you can see there's a big pie or big triangle here on the back side of that screen now, that is again taking up some of your Livescope real estate. So I like to keep that at default or minimum. I'm actually going to keep it at minimum right now. Compass range, I always leave that off. That way, if I'm casting out, 30 feet, it's pretty much spot on. All right, after layout, you're gonna have noise reject. This is something that I always keep actually on medium. If you run it on high, you'll notice your screen's really gonna clean up real nice. You're not gonna have like any interference at all. The only bad part about that is it's gonna take away a lot of information that's kind of coming back to that transducer. So if you're maybe marking some fish that are really tight to the bottom, those fish might blend in right with bottom, and it could be hard to kind of pick those fish out. So you really want to, be sure that you're not getting rid of too much of the information that's coming back to your screen. And that's why I always try to leave that noise reject on medium. Ghost reject, again, I normally keep that on medium too as well. TVG, otherwise time varying gain, I always leave that off. TVG is going to do is kind of clear up the upper part of the water column for you, making it a little easier to see anything that's happening again in that upper part of the water column. So if you're fishing some really deep water, you're fishing suspended fish, maybe for salmon or lake trout, that might be a setting that you want to play with. Overlay data. Now this is something that I kind of play around with too on my screen, again, just so that there's less real estate getting taken up by data that I don't really need on this screen. I'll leave the water temp, but then unit voltage, speed, and then time of day I'll just get rid of. That way all I have is my depth and my water temp, and then all of the other information that I need is just going to be on these bottom two graphs. So again, less real estate, the better. Now I have more real estate for my Livescope. And then focus, I always leave an auto fresh. That seems to work for me. And yeah, those are basically the settings that I am running on my unit. Again, super simple. And the settings out of the box are probably gonna work just as well for you, but these are just the settings that I'm doing. So I've dialed these things in over the last couple of years here to really help me catch more fish out on the water. So hopefully you can use these settings to your advantage, and hopefully they'll help you get a jump start on your Livescope unit in the boat. Oh, got him.
Got it, boy.
Got him. You can go light enough where you can float it there for a little bit. That seems to be the ticket, because right now they're not really willing to chase. But if you can go light like we are with that 1/4 ounce search bait and just kind of float it in front of them for a couple of seconds, it seems to be doing the trick. Not a tank.
Boy, that thing is just feisty.
Good eater. Hey.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bigger than an eater, huh? In the net. Oh, about as probably as big as the last one. Look at how dark they are though. Gotta love these Door County fish. Check that out. Look at the colors on that fish. Almost same size as that first one I caught before. Getting the bait right in front of those fish's face on a day like today, I mean, you could be trolling with crawler harnesses, running right over these pods of fish, and they just would not have anything to do with those crawlers. But if you're able to kind of pause that bait right in front of their face, almost force them to eat it, that seems to be the ticket. But peace out. Later on. Just eat. There we go. Got him. Got him. Deep suspended walleyes, Miller. There he is. No. Perch colored search bait, 1/4 ounce. Look at how beat up that fish looks.
And it's good size fish.
Why is it so beat up? There we go. Look at that. Crawler's not even damaged. That was the ticket right there. Look at this fish. He's all beat up. What do you think happened to him? If fish could tell stories, ain't it? Look at that old fish. Wow. What do you think happened to it?
Spawn maybe, or rolling around in rock out here.
Looks like it just got beat up. Go ahead and let that one go. It's all fired up, very spunky and healthy, but wow, that was interesting. Gosh, that's fun. Especially in suspended water like that. It's so much fun. All right, I want to talk about the rod that I'm using today, only because this rod is actually a little different than the rod that you guys have been seeing me use in the last couple of videos. Now, you guys know that I like long whippy rods for the search bait. And today, because we are running this 1/4 ounce gold search bait, what I got here is actually an Elliott 7.9 light fast action rod. It has a very, very sensitive, slow action tip that really, really loads up on those fish. And the reason why I like that is because this bite can be very, very fickle at times. And especially today, it's one of those days where you're casting at these fish, you know, they're not super amped up. They're not just grabbing that bait right out of the water column. You kind of have to work them a little bit. And sometimes what these fish like to do is just kind of nip at the back end of that crawler, and you can feel it happen through the rod blank. And what you want to do is just give them a couple of seconds. And the nice thing about having a light load with a fast action tip is you're going to have that forgiveness. You're going to be able to set that hook and still have a little bit of delay from the rod tip to the bait. That's gonna allow you to get a good hook set into that fish. So in my opinion, it's very important to have a rod like this if you're gonna be throwing this type of presentation. Even just a jig and a crawler, it can be good to throw on a long whippy rod, not only for that sensitivity, but also for the fact of being able to cast this out just a little bit further than you would with a shorter rod. So check this stuff out. Again, it's not necessary, but it's gonna help you put a few more fish in the boat if you are throwing this presentation. So I'll leave everything linked down below. Check it out. Let's get back up front. Hopefully catch a few more fish. "65 feet away, I got a couple of them. Ooh, right on him. Got him. Got him. This is a better one. Oh, it never gets old. Ooh.
Best part is, about 2 minutes, you gotta take that off. And I get to come up here and play.
Yeah, right. They were about 65 feet away, and I just chucked. I think what's happening to these fish, because the water's so clear, these fish are a little boat shy.
Yep.
So if you can bomb it out there, got a lot better chance.
Well, everything's been over 55 feet away today that got caught.
Yeah. This thing is not happy. Feels better. I'm gonna bring them around one more time here. There you go. Look at how thick that one is.
That has got some weight. Look at that eyeball.
On that Kalen search bait, saw this one about 65 feet out, casted at it. This water is so clear. Just a flash from the blades on that search bait. As this thing is falling down into the water column, this fish saw it. We were able to put a nice fish in the boat. That's a beautiful, probably, let's bump it on the deck here once. I'd say probably 24-ish, 25 maybe. Yeah, 24 right on the dot. Beautiful Green Bay walleye though. Lake just went flat calm. Really starting to lay down. There she goes. Just gotta baby them a little bit sometimes, you know? Gosh, it feels good. There's actually a slow death hook back here, so when you get that night crawler rigged up on there, what this worm is gonna do in the water is twirl. And it's just kind of irresistible to those walleyes. So you got the scent, you got the action, you got the flash. All you need is the bite, and that's exactly what we're getting. So I'm gonna put a new crawler on here, see if we can find a few more of those bigger suspended fish. Got him.
Get your hand on that, Cody?
No, you keep fishing. This one doesn't feel like a tank. Pulled it out of a pretty decent pod though. Just all sorts of fired up. Just a little guy. I'll get it. You keep fishing.
Oh, I got it. I just wanted to reel on that one. Where you at?
Right here. Pulled it out of a nice little pod.
That's a nice fish. That's the fish you want if you're out here.
Yeah, if you're gonna be coming out here keeping some fish for the frying pan, this is definitely one that you'd want to take home.
Perfect fish.
Perfect eater. Nice little eater walleye. We're gonna get that one right back. I want to try to get back on that school. It looked like there was a couple bigger ones in there. You got one?
Yeah.
Good one?
Yeah. Came up 4 foot off bottom fast, and he turned and stopped, went back down, came right back up racing again.
Really?
Oh.
Doubled up, Miller. I don't know if I got a walleye or not.
Mine's good. Mine's that nice fat long mark you see on the skull.
I think I might have a sheephead. I think I definitely got a sheephead. Oh yeah, you do got a good one.
Hey, dude. Got him?
Yeah, I'll net him.
Oops. Coming up. Coming up.
Oh,
Tank.
that's a nice fish.
You sure you all right with this?
Yep. Here you go, buddy.
Got it.
Yep, hold on.
Good work.
Let me see if I got a sheep for sure. Yeah, it's a sheep. Oh, that would have been sweet. Not an absolute tank, but a good
that's
fish.
Almost like, your perfect 2021. I mean,
Yeah.
beautiful color, fat. It's been eaten.
Well, I think that's going to be the fish that we end the day on.
Right here's
We'll
the
make
most
sure
important part.
we get it back.
Give it that extra 15, 20, 30 seconds. Let them go good.
Look at how clean that water is.
Ready? Here he goes.
Water's so clear. There it goes.
Beautiful.
Nice. Nice.
Never gets old.
Well, unfortunately, I think Ted and I got to get off the water. I actually have a salmon trip that I have to run. So we got to get back to land. That way I can get the boat ready to rock. I got to put downriggers on, rod holders, and then I also got to drive to Two Rivers to meet my clients. But if you guys are interested in getting out on a guided trip, again, I do have some dates available, but not many. But my books are open for next year if you guys want to get on my schedule for 2026. I normally get really, really busy this time of the year. So if you do want to get out this time of the year, it's always best to kind of book ahead. But we're going to get things wrapped up here. We're going to head back into the landing and get the boat put back on the trailer. But what a morning. It wasn't fast and furious, but we caught some fish and we got some good ones too. Get it cleaned up, Ted. Got the cleaning station here. That is gonna be where we end today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you learned something. My biggest point with this video was to kind of talk to you guys about the settings that we're using on our Livescope. I've been getting a lot of questions about it. So hopefully this walkthrough was good enough and kind of explained everything that I'm doing out on the water. If you guys do have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments below, or you can reach out to me too as well, and I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. Obviously I've been using Livescope for a good while now. It's been years trying to learn this system and just kind of get dialed with it out on Green Bay and any other body of water that we're going on to. So there's a lot of stuff involved with it. It's not something that you're just gonna slap on your boat and go catch fish with. It takes practice, it takes time to really start to understand those electronics, and just time on the water is gonna help you do that. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna get things cleaned up, probably, get the boat washed down. It sounds like we got some weeds on the trailer. We'll get all that wrapped up and then head home, get this video edited for you guys. But thank you guys again so much for tuning in. As always, keep living your dream, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.